So when I was 8 years old, basically when I started to go to school, I would go into the office with him whenever I had a free day. My job was to keep my father's teacup full. And then I used to sit by my father's desk and watch him and be like, when is he going to need to refill his teacup? I'd be like, do you want to drink some more, Daddy? So that I could have something to do. So we started very, very basic. If I have any success in my life, it is due to the education and to the love of my parents, Dr. James S.C. Chow, and my mother, Mrs. Ruth Mulan Chu Chow. So as you have heard, education is an important, essential, core value of our family, as it is so for so many of us from Asian cultures. As you know from our history books, and as I've learned from my father and my mother's own mouths, 1930s and 40s China was incredibly turbulent. They lived through famine, epidemic, pestilence, foreign invasion, civil war. I mean, they really saw it all. Their education was interrupted many times throughout their childhood and into their young adult years because of the civil wars and foreign invasions. And so my parents also raised us to believe that education was a privilege. This was something that we just took for granted, and that living in such peaceful times was an incredible blessing. My parents came to America as immigrants. They didn't know so much about America. So they encouraged us to go out, look, find, search, be curious, don't be afraid. They didn't want us to be limited by what other people saw or what other people thought, not to be influenced too much by changing public opinions or trends. Instead, they wanted us to believe in something, to have a strong value system, and a set of principles. You will always have your own direction and your own path. Compare and judge ourselves only to ourselves. There will always be someone more successful, with more money, prettier, younger, whatever. So you mustn't compare yourself to others, but compare yourself to yourself. And just ask yourself, are you better today than you were yesterday? 我们已经工作了快20年了，所以已经磨合了很好。可是刚开始的时候，当然我们有不同的意见。I wanted to do things new ways and different ways, but on the weekends I talked to my mother very often, and I would tell her my frustrations, and Daddy's not listening to me on this, or Daddy's not listening to me on that. And my mother was just very wise. She always said to me, you may not always agree with your father, but you have to listen to him. And you have to understand where he's coming from. You have to also refine your explanation skills. You have to communicate. You have to explain. You have to persuade. And so she also helped us be this bridge for both of us. And I know that she talked to him too. So
从来没有不同的意见不能解决的。中国有一句话，有说是不得。美国人的想法，当机立断，我们两个人的基本的思想是不同的。就要晓得这个基础，把我们的两个焦点看在，问题就没有了。你的努力不是光光为你自己，自己富裕了之后，能够帮助人家，能够为天下服务。
And as you build yourself up, then you will have something to give back, which makes you a productive person. The more productive you are, the happier you're going to be. And the happier you are, the more you have to give back to others. And the more you have to give back to others, the more people want to be with you and want to help you. And it becomes its own virtuous cycle. But my parents always said it starts with giving first. My parents always said it is better to give than to receive.
希望大家做梦，我靠时代的改变的福气，有这个机会敢做梦，不要怕失败，成功叫他给上天，只要自己努力，你们一定会得到成功。